Hello, I'm Jesus Lau. I work for Universidad Veracruzana in the southeastern part of Mexico. I have an objective today, and my objective is to motivate you to use artificial intelligence to serve better your information users. And I'm going to use an analogy in regard to artificial intelligence. Here, I have a bag with pancakes or hotcakes flour. When you make hotcakes, who makes them? You that mix the egg and put some water or milk? Or the authors or the makers of these hotcakes are the company, the food industry that created this mix, or the peasant who cultivated the grain? The different ingredients that are here were done by several people. So when we make hot cakes, we are perhaps at the last stage of making them, but there were several people before you who contributed to them. So it's difficult to recognize who's the author, who's the creator of the hot cakes. This analogy is quite similar to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is something that we have to adapt, and use in our daily library work as educators, as instructors, and as learning managers. My talk today is called Artificial Intelligence Demands Higher Cognitive Information Skills, and the librarians' artificial intelligence potential contribution. My talk has different points. Here is the summary in a way, so that you can have an idea of what I'm going to talk in these few minutes that I'm allowed to address you. One, I will talk about artificial intelligence in education. The second, about the role of librarians in upgrading information skills, the significance of high cognition, the relevance of information skills in academic success, and the role of librarians as educators to foster artificial intelligence ethics and use. And finally, I would like to say that I'm going to focus mainly on the reference work of libraries. In other words, in a more focused way, on information literacy, on information learning facilitation. Okay, we have a tsunami. You know, tsunami is a phenomenon created by an earthquake in the bottom of the oceans, and it takes several waves, strong waves, that go across hundreds, if not thousands, of kilometers. And once they reach the end, they may destroy wherever is in land. Well, the same, I think, is happening with that artificial intelligence. There is a tsunami that it's already taking place and will be hit. And we have to be ready for that. Artificial intelligence certainly demands higher cognitive information skills. What do I mean with this? Because artificial intelligence can do most of the task that we normally had to do to search, locate, and use information. Now, in order to benefit from artificial intelligence tools, we need to have a good thinking skills, because we do not need, for example, to write as much as we used to do. Writing was the corollary of any educational process. Our aim was that people will be able to read and write, but now ChatGPT can do part of that task. And in order to really assemble, create a good product, you need to have a good thinking training. In other words, we need high cognitive skills in order to identify what is true and what is false, because artificial intelligence is creating things that look better, look more perfect than real things. You may recall, if you read the news, what happened to Bad Bunny, that singer, that his voice was used to create a song, replicating his voice, and it was quite popular. Millions of people watched the TikTok of this deep fake. The same happens with Taylor Swift, where several pictures, several photographs were created using her image in pornographic attitudes or actions. The images were really strong in terms of pornographic content, and they got 47 million likes. This means that, we as humans like this artificial part, but we need to be ready to discern, to really identify that they are false and they are not the real singer. Well, the impact in education is that it has to change the pedagogy. We need to change the way that we teach. We need to change the way that we learn. And the pedagogical strategies for information literacy is that now you need to focus more on the process rather than on the product. We used to grade the students by the product, by the SAID, by the communication element that they created. Now we have to focus on how it was created. What were the tools that they were used to get this result? In other words, if we want to check, if you know how to do hot cakes, you not only will check the real the pancake, but you have to check if the students understand how it is made. Okay, let's move because time is short. Artificial intelligence is certainly a useful platform, and it has several applications for students. It can be a good learning assistance for students to check, to have someone to talk about their exam and get the reactions if they are answering the right questions or not, or ask ChatGPT, for example, or BART or whatever other tools to ask them to test their skills. So there are several benefits of personalized learning to do collaborative projects more than ever. We have the tools to have this artificial intelligence laboratory where students can collaborate. You, as a librarian, need to identify the examples, practical examples that can be used in your discipline, in medicine for diagnostics, in law to making a suit or a legal paper, for history, geography, and so on. ChatGPT, as I said, has benefits and dangers. I put here ChatGPT as an example because it's probably the most prominent and popular tool. It has certainly a great impact, a positive one, but also it can have a negative one if a student is not supervised. And now we have to rely more on principles, on the values of honesty about the students. And because there are several risks of misinformation and over-reliance. In other words, that the student bases too much his learning efforts on these tools. He has to understand them. He has to understand how this knowledge is constructed. But the main point here is that the student has to have good ethics to recognize what is his learning and what are the things that he brought from different platforms to create a product. In other words, he has to have academic integrity. Now, high cognition. High cognition is a word that perhaps is simple, but it's a complex thing to achieve. How can we human beings define intelligence? We need to evolve. We need to foster this evolution to develop our thinking skills in a higher stage, because we need to know more than these applications of artificial intelligence. We need to know if a product is right or not. This means that we still have to read. We still have to do searches. We still have to investigate if things are correct, if they are the right thing to say, etc. So these uses will be beneficial only if we know more than the software that we're using. These skills, and I mean information skills, are relevant, and they are more relevant than ever. But we have to change the strategy. We need to change the traditional activities of locating, retrieving, evaluating, and using information. Nowadays, with the arrival of these tools, several tasks can be done by using these tools. So we need to move above so that the students understand how to apply them, how to use these tools. In other words, we have to move, from teaching them how to use a database now to use a tool that will search a database, do the summary, extract the main ideas. And this is something that we can only do if we know how to exploit, to harvest the benefits of the tools. Librarians have a teaching role. Librarians have more than ever an educating role to play, because you, as information managers, as knowledge experts, you can help any academic process, any learning process, if you master the use of these tools and understand how our thinking, our intelligence can be fostered to higher levels. It is easy to say, because right now there are no manuals on pedagogical or didactics or strategies on how to teach or students. I have some exercises, but before I get to that point, I need to summarize that librarians have a potential role, as a follow-up of the previous slide. One is to advocate for ethics. This is probably our main, one of the main roles. The second one is to be an active librarian in adapting learning resources for this new artificial intelligence era. The third one is leadership in shaping institutional policies. We need to join the teams at university level or school level to create the proper policies to use and adopt artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence has several assistant roles, but they can be summarized in the research process, that it can automate research tasks. Second, it is a great tool for brainstorming. In other words, students can read and ask the platform to extract ideas, to create, a pool of ideas or concepts that he can assemble into an intelligent product. In other words, or number three, artificial intelligence can streamline the research process. And I will have to summarize the next slides, but I have a task for you. I have 14 artificial intelligence tools, and I would like to give you homework. You, as a library educator, need to familiarize with them. These tools are not specifically created for libraries, but all of them are within the realm, within the subject of doing research, of getting information, on evaluating information, and on producing a document. There are 14 tools, and I will go very quickly, and I will just spot some of them. For example, the first one, PDF Year Copilot. It can give you a summary of what's inside a PDF, an excellent tool. So take this as a task to be familiar. Consensus can find evidence-based answers from peer-reviewed research papers. A cite tells you where an article has been cited and whether the citing article affirms or disputes the citation. So this is very good for faculty and also very good for any student who is doing a thesis. There is CSpace that simplifies simple concepts for you. Word advice that proofread your paper. And the list go long, but you have ChatGPT and Bard that it can create, a paper for you if you have the right input. There is also Research Rabbit that allows you to create a collection of papers, much like a Spotify playlist. There is BitEye. Let's see, I'm jumping. BitEye that allows you to integrate a vast range of media items with your document. In other words, you can use not only articles, but media publications. You have Zotero that also has been enhanced with artificial intelligence. We have Semantic Scholar that helps you search from a database of more than 200 million scientific papers. That is certainly a step beyond ChatGPT as we know it. There is Elicit that helps you find papers, Chat PDF, Authenticate, and so on. So your task is to get familiar with these 14 programs or artificial intelligence tools. You can change them or use for others that are more relevant to your disciplines if you're in the humanities or medicine or engineering. But the task, your homework, is to get familiar with them. If you do it, you can become a good, and I would say more than that, an excellent library educator. So there are several opportunities and challenges for librarians. Our users demand higher cognitive information services. They will no longer just look for a book, they need answers. Librarians need to learn to swim in the knowledge that they manage. In other words, we have to use our own libraries. It can be digital or software-related one. The opportunities that you have the opportunity to change your approach to information literacy. And this presentation is so short that we can address that know-how. Okay, don't be afraid of this task. Take easy steps, begin by browsing them at your own pace, and soon you will be an artificial intelligence librarian. Conclusions. All artificial intelligence information users need higher thinking skills. Librarians must embrace artificial intelligence. Librarians have to urgently train themselves in this field. You have a great opportunity to foster high cognitive information skills. and you have an artificial intelligence formative, educating, teaching role in this world of learning. So the future is yours. Grasp it. Thank you.